The Midnight Fair. James, a weary taxi driver, was accustomed to the late-night shifts in the city. The neon lights cast an eerie glow on the wet streets as he cruised through the darkness, his cab's engine humming softly. Rain lashed against the windshield, creating a surreal, distorted view of the world outside. It was a particularly stormy night, and the city seemed deserted. James's cab glided along the slick roads, windshield wipers working overtime. He was about to call it a night when he spotted a figure hailing him from the shadows. A pale man, drenched from head to toe, waved desperately. His clothes clung to his frail frame as he staggered toward the taxi. James hesitated but eventually pulled over, unlocking the doors. The stranger got in, water pooling around his shoes. His eyes were hollow, and his hands trembled as he fumbled for his wallet. He whispered an address, barely audible over the pounding rain. It was a remote and dilapidated mansion at the edge of town. As James drove through the desolate streets, the passengers sat in eerie silence, occasionally glancing out the window with a haunted expression. The atmosphere inside the cab grew increasingly unsettling, and the air seemed to thicken with tension. Approaching the mansion, James felt a shiver run down his spine. The place looked abandoned for decades, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. His passenger opened the door but hesitated before getting out. In a trembling voice, the man said, "You shouldn't have picked me up. They're waiting for you." Before James could react, the passenger's eyes turned pitch black, and an otherworldly, guttural voice emanated from his mouth, "You were the final fare." Terrified, James tried to escape the cab, but an invisible force held him in place. The passenger's body contorted, grotesquely elongating and merging with the shadows until he became a sinister, swirling darkness that enveloped James. The next morning, the police found James's empty taxi parked in front of the mansion. There was no sign of him or the mysterious passenger. The mansion remained a cursed and forsaken place, a grim reminder of the taxi driver who ventured into the unknown and never returned.